tomorrow on Roy, Floyd, Sugar Ray Leonard. So probably Wednesday, no later than Saturday morning. So we'll see who can all come on and want to talk. I seen some of Blood Boxing, Retro Boxing, his take on it, and he broke it down better than I did. Well, he pretty much broke down Roy and Floyd's resume. I really got into like Roberto Duran, and people who have less knowledge than me are trying, and admitted to have less knowledge than me, they're trying to debate me on what I said. And you can't debate me on what I said because what I said is completely true. He has nobody on his resume that's comparable to Sugar Ray Leonard. In no shape, form, or fashion. You know, they keep saying, well, Zab, Chop Chop, Chop Chop almost sent him to the upper room and Zab dropped him. But Zab was coming off a loss. Chop Chop was a solid contender. But I just really think people don't know how good Sugar Ray Leonard was, let alone how good Roy was. Sugar Ray Leonard was tough. Sugar Ray Leonard was a problem. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Ray was a problem. I don't think people understand that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you was one of the best defensive fighters, one of the best punchers, Ray knocked out both on the spectrum. And a lot of people want to point to like where they were saying that Floyd said, "Oh, Muhammad Ali lost to Leon Spinks," which is part of one of the greatest. A lot of people feel like the greatest boxing family of all time. Leon Spinks, Michael Spinks, one of the greatest light heavyweights and heavyweight champion. Corey Spinks, undisputed welterweight champion. And Leon Spinks was a gold medalist. I think Michael Spinks might have been a gold medalist too. I could be wrong. He was 36 years old. So, a loss doesn't define your career. So, like I said, look at Sonny Liston, George Foreman. Floyd has faced nowhere near that competition in his career. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all trying to minimize a guy like Roberto Duran and Roberto Duran would just run through Floyd Mayweather. I promise you, it wouldn't even be competitive. You know what I'm saying? But y'all have at it. So we got a fight week, and I seen something interesting I want to talk about first. Ariel Helwani, he did an interview with Shakur Stevenson, okay? And apparently Shakur Stevenson and Mike Coppinger had some type of spat. You know what I'm saying? They had a spat. And part of their spat, they thought it was a parody. I didn't see it. So he thought it was a parody, Ariel Helwani. And Shakur Stevenson told him it wasn't a parody. He was dead ass serious about his disrespect to Mike Coppinger. Now, he said Coppinger doesn't have any talent. I'm paraphrasing, dry personality. But what took me out was something a little bit more crazier. So, going through the clip, I hang around because it was interesting to read, right? It was interesting to listen. He said that him and Coppinger was on the elevator together, and he told Coppinger that pussies, he said, you go first, because pussies, I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much said this, but pussies get off the elevator first. That's what he told Coppinger. He said that you get off the elevator first, because pussies get off the elevator first. And he said, well, Shakur, you need to grow up. And he was just saying that his disdain and dislike for Mike Coppinger is 100% real. And I told y'all what happened with, Fred and Coppinger. When Shigo was there, I think they was at the Spence fight. It was Spence and Porter. I can't remember. And Fred got into it with Coppinger. And he told Coppinger that, Coppinger said something to Fred, and Fred said, he got jumped up and yelled in the media room and said, can't no white man tell me what to do. And Shigo ran and shit because he didn't want to get his credentials all fucked up and stuff. So, yeah, like y'all know Coppinger on the other side of the spectrum. Y'all know he part of the Reading Rainbow gang. And, to each his own. I'm surprised he ain't started crying, LGBTQ slurs and shit like that, right? that he's slurring me because I'm that way. But it is, with Shakur's synopsis of him really not having any actual talent. That's nothing new. That's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? Most of the people that get on in Hollywood, they get on off the simple fact of following. These guys accumulate these huge followings, but they're not equipped with the knowledge. They really not engaging. They really can sell out cornballs, raccoons, and that's what they want on TV. You're not gonna, you don't have a backbone. You're not gonna stand up for yourself, and that's why a lot of people feel like they like Kevin Hart because he's safe. Some people say he's ugly. He's short. He's not really like, imposing. He's seen as fragile, soft, and weak. And they want those moist. I ain't saying that he's moist, but they want that moisture on TV. That's why I feel like if you backdoor or you part of the Rainbow Gang, you should just go bust it open for Tyler Perry and them in Hollywood and be good and get your money. That's what I feel like. And get your money. And you should just go get your bread. But so, I really, I think he do a good job reporting. But as far as with a microphone and what? Come on. Hold on real quick. Come on, Miles. He ain't gonna come for you. He trying to use it. This nigga uses it in the most inconvenient places. Give me 1 minute. I gotta pick up shit now. Come here. Come here. All right, you can get your little rocks off. Sit. Come here. Sit. Nuh-uh. Come here. Come here. I don't care. Come here. Sit. Excuse me. Thank you. And then now this bag got a fucking hole in it. Thanks a fucking lot, Walmart. So fucking. Hold on, y'all. My bad. Nobody want to hear you cry. Good boy. Stay. I gotta throw this shit out. And this shit smell like horse ass. Come on. Hold on. Nuh-uh. Hold on. But yeah, back to it. Like, he's, you form relationships and they speak to you. I think he do a good job of tweeting and being ahead of the curve. And I think from what I've seen, he got solid journalistic integrity. But as far as, his talent, as far as with a microphone, not everybody is made to be on TV or made to be on radio. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you work at it. And like I said, I did a video on old girl from Love Island and shit. I say this. Most men watching Love Island, you notice that most men don't have a personality. That's the crazy thing about it. Most men don't have a personality. A woman can afford not to have a personality, because the value was in the titties, the ass, but most men don't have personality. Today, most people today, they don't have a personality. And then if you do have a personality, it really ain't the personality that you really look for. It's more of a minstrel show. You know what I'm saying? So most people ain't engaging. A lot of people I really listen to on YouTube, and just because you don't have a great personality or you don't engage, don't mean you don't have talent. Some people have a voice. Some people have a mystique, the editing. Some people have the gift to explain something. You know what I'm saying? They have the gift to explain something and break it down. And you got other people who just is very, very charismatic, and they can speak well, and They may not need all that editing. They know how to digest things or break things down for people. Like Coppinger, like I agree with Shakur as far as being on TV. Like it's like a deer in headlights, dry. He really doesn't know how to work the camera. You know what I'm saying? As far as like really, really be engaged the camera and stuff of that nature. It's no wordplay. There's no creation of phrases. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mike Breen, who retired from calling ESPN. He's the guy that says bang, or he says those things. Like he hasn't really created that for himself yet. He hasn't really learned how to engage, to really be on the camera and have that personality. But sometimes it comes, but a lot of times you're either born with it or you're not born with it. So it's a bunch of guys who don't really have the personality to do radio or to be on TV and stuff of that nature. There's nothing wrong. I mean, he's here to be an insider. He's here to be an insider. So he's here to give information out now. It'd be a plus if he knew how to, pop shit, or he knew how to, come up with phrases, and he knew how to be a little bit more comfortable on camera. So to me, I don't. He doesn't bother me none. I know. But for Shakur Stevenson to tell another grown man, like, call you a pussy and you get off first, y'all wonder why people don't like Shakur Stevenson. Like, he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. As first and foremost, as a man, you're not going to disrespect me like that. And when asked in that same interview, why did you interview with him? He said he always interviews with people, and I can respect that. But for him to call you a pussy, and pussies get off the elevator first, like, come on, man. As a man, like that's grounds for us to have to squabble. I might lose the squabble, but you gonna know you was in the squabble. And in some grounds, in some facets of life, that's enough for somebody to up the blicky and send you to the upper room, or at least pistol whip you. So, so be it. But I mean, you be wondering why some guys don't get into the Hall of Fame, or they don't get votes, or they don't get opportunities, or the media vilify them, because guys like Coppinger. Let me say this: most people in this world today, they can't separate personal feelings from facts. So if they feel a certain way after he do that to you, say that to you, most people gonna be in their feelings about, oh, he a shitty ass fighter, that nigga trash, he woo 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 woo. They can't separate it. I can't. Even though Shakur's he talk all that shit, he's a talented and phenomenal boxer. But he leaves a lot to be desired in the ring, entertainment-wise. Because it's not because, per se, his style in the ring is how you talk spicy and you deliver no spice in the ring. I appreciate the William, appreciate the super chat. So that's my thing. You can't advertise, oh, we selling Benzes and BMWs, and then you get there and they selling Fords, or they selling Teslas and shit. No, nigga, I seen on the thing y'all selling. I want a Benz or a BMW. So, that is what it is. I think that's the biggest thing. Has Shakur's style and his aggression match his aggression, how he talk outside the ring, I don't think anybody would have an issue with it. If he fought like he talks like he fights like Iron Mike Tyson. That's how he talks. So, not the cab driver playing above the law. He African too. I live in the suburbs. You still talking about cabs? Because cabs don't even go to Detroit no more. They really want to know why so scum. Because to me, my mama comes number one. And to my mama, I'm a real black Superman. Yeah. Oh, man, that's my song right there. Black Superman? Come on, man. My mama ain't gotta fuck with the county no more. I'd rather take the risk of doing 5 to 10. I'm not taking the way. I'm straight making the way. Oh, you know, he said, I'm not taking away. I'm straight making the check. Now we deserve to get what we want to get. I got my mama up out of there because y'all motherfuckers just don't care. Oh, man, that's my shit. Had little monologues in the song and shit too. Man, shout out to Bud the Law, man. That was Ruthless Records, Easy E. They say Easy E might be worth $1 billion if he's still been around. What was the name of that album? Damn, it was like The Revenge of Uncle Sam or some shit like that. Yeah, man. Blood of Law was dope, man. Don't forget, he also had JJ Fad. Supersonic. He had them too. I think people forget that. He had JJ Fad, Blood of Law. He had just got Bone Thugs and Harmony. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they was moving. They were moving. But yeah, disrespect to Coppinger is wild. But hey, shout out to him. I mean, you know, he gonna lay down and take it. Pun and no pun intended. You know, but ain't no nigga disrespecting me like that. It's just certain things when you violate me like that, like, man, I was liable to spit on that little nigga, dog. I was liable to spit on that nigga, or piss in the cup and throw it on him. Like, real talk. Y'all be seeing why the media be having vendetta against niggas. Nigga ain't about to tell me, pussy, you get off the elevator first because you the pussy. I'm like, nigga, please. Like, you 5'6", nigga. I'll go make your bitch bust down. I'll do some ruthless shit. I'll make your bitch bust down for the crew. Real talk. I'll make your chick bust down for the crew and record it. Because you know she don't like him. A nigga playing Ice Cube? Nah. Africa, y'all ain't bullshitting out here. You call me African Bruce, but I whoop ass. I whoop your bitch ass. I wish Shakur Stevenson would call me a pussy. In Africa, you know we doing niggas like him? My tribe will strip him butt naked and roast him over the fire for the hyenas. You know, but back to us fight week. I ain't gonna lie, I'm pulling for ignorant Berlanga. I'm pulling for Berlanga. Don't ask why, I don't know why. I ain't got nothing against Sheeraz, but I'm pulling for Berlanga. I don't know, I'm kind of liking how Berlanga talking shit. You know, I kind of become somewhat of a Berlanga fan for this week. So, I like Berlanga in that fight. But, you know, if Sheeraz can take the punch, he should be okay. But the difference between this and the Diamonds fight, there's going to be opportunities for Berlanga, for him to knock Berlanga out. You know, I really don't see him having to struggle to move up to 68. He seemed to be a big guy. So I don't really see the struggle for Sheeraz to move up to 68. So I think he'll fill in well. I think if him and Andy Lee is smart, which Andy Lee is a good coach, and I think Andy Lee has got a lot of experience in fighting guys like this. So I think if Andy Lee was smart, I think they will be smart. I think what you'll see a lot of hard shots early on from Sheeraz to get the respect. You know, Berlanga is gonna rush in, and I think if they were smart, they're gonna throw to the body. I feel like if they smart, they're gonna throw to the body, and they might hurt Berlanga to the body. But I think for them in this fight, see, if you stop doing so much, dog, you just be doing too much. But I think if they were smart for this fight, I think for Berlanga, for Sheeraz, I think he's gonna walk into shit. He like to throw those hooks. I think you throw short 1-2s, or you might even just prepare to throw a really, really good power jab at Sheeraz. I think that might be, at Berlanga. You might just stop him in his track with a power jab. So I think that may be smart. Just step into like that old, power jab that Golovkin stepped into, kind of the jab that Bud threw at Spence. Maybe they should work on for him just stepping with that hard jab and stopping Berlanga in his tracks. But also, they could work on just 1-2. You know what I'm saying? The way Berlanga lunge in, 1-2 uppercut. They can just practice on throwing the uppercut and timing them. I think you can drop the 2 to the body, going to Berlanga body. So it's a lot of opportunities there, in my opinion, for Sheeraz. Come on, for Sheeraz. I think it's a lot of opportunities there for him. But I think if he don't have any aggression and he don't throw with bad intentions, I think he might just lose the fight off aggression. They in New York, they scoring for the aggressor. So if he just throw that pity pass shit and he don't throw punch through the target, he's just gonna lose off a lack of aggression. And unfortunately, I don't feel like he move his head enough neither. And he's slick enough neither to get those brownie points as a defender, even though they're really not giving you brownie points. So I think for Sheeraz, this whole camp, and Andy Lee come from the school of Crunk, you punch through the target this fight. I don't think it's just no other way. He has to punch with conviction. And that don't necessarily mean he needs to load up, but you can't punch at the target. He needs to punch through the target. You know, and most guys know what I'm speaking on. Some guys, you know, they throw a jab, you know, just to touch you. It's like a layup for them. But then you got sometimes guys get out there and he's just switching sides of the streets, dog. Like, I don't really care for walking miles. I'm gonna admit it. Like, he's one of the more difficult dogs I had to walk. But yeah, when you got some people who may throw a jab that really hurt you. And I think in this situation, I think you've seen that with Tyson Fury when he joined Sugar Hill. You started to see him kind of punch more he started to punch through the target. And I think for Sheeraz, this fight, you know, the school of Crunk, Andy Lee, it's a good fight to really put that together, because you're gonna have a guy where you know Berlanga is not gonna be hard to find. He coming right at you. So guess what? I would be working on, you know, 1-2s, uppercuts, you know, right, left hooks to the body. I just be worried about touching his body. I may anticipate him coming in with a jab, and I might just drop a right hook to the body or right hand to the body just to slow him down early. My whole thing may just be attack the body, or, you know, throw the power jab or throw the 1-2. So he gonna come to you. I mean, he could walk to Berlanga and put Berlanga on the back foot. I mean, but everything I'm talking about him having to do, he has to do it with aggression. What I seen in the Adames fight, he didn't have enough aggression. You know, and you see that with Jack Catterall. I heard Catterall fought Saturday. I don't know what happened. I know it got stopped by cut or something like that. So I don't know if he won versus Harlem Eubank, whoever the hell that is. Yeah, I don't know who that is, but that's the problem with Cat. Oh, come on, man, you about to step right in that mud, bro. But yeah, Catterall just don't have no aggression. You know, nice guy, met him and everything. He got all the tools in the bank to be a world champion, but he lacks the aggression. And I see the same thing with Sheeraz. And what's so funny about it is Sheeraz don't have a personality. So his personality kind of matches fighting styles, kind of like bland, you know, basic 1-2 guy. It ain't a good 1-2, or like a fantastic 1-2 where, you know, he hit you with the 1-2 like Foreman did Michael Moore. And I ain't no shit like that. It ain't a Bernard Hopkins 1-2 neither. You know, it's just like he kind of reminds you of Danny Garcia without the counter punching. That's what it reminds you of. Like, it's like he's a very bland fighter. You know, and you look at him and you like, man, if he can learn to turn over a hook, or he can learn to have some diversity in his punch output, or he could just learn to really punch through the target and be aggressive. Same thing with Catterall. If they can have some aggression, you know, they would easily be world champions. Is the Egner gonna get stopped? You think so? I don't see that guy I think he'd translate well at 168. I really didn't see a lot of power versus Adames. And I'm not saying that I didn't see a lot of aggression. I didn't see enough aggression versus Adames. You know, I like to see more aggression from him. So, but if he's not aggressive, you know, he gonna lose this fight. So, yeah, if he's not aggressive, he don't have any aggression, he gonna lose that fight, bro. The way they scoring fight, being in New York. And then, you know, he did the interview the street interview, he was asking people, um, did they know, Egner Berlanga, and it was funny, but he's a very dry personality. He has a very dry fucking personality, dog. Like, and I didn't really know until I really was watching like Love Island. Cause I don't hang with dudes, bro. That's one thing. Like I go to the gym and work out, but for the most part, I really don't. You won't see me hanging with guys. You just won't. So like, if it is, I'm doing. It's like it's on some family shit. I don't really hang with niggas, so I wouldn't know. But what I'm seeing first with Love Island, I be conversating with my girl. Like most men today lack personality. They don't have a personality. They don't tell jokes. They don't make shit funny. They not a vibe. Like I didn't know that. But then again, you got to remember too. Like this new era coming up, it's the tablet era. The music ain't as creative, at least in the hip hop world. I'm kind of getting into bops and pops and shit. They got some good shit. It's still creative. So, yeah, like, a lot of motherfuckers don't have no personality, dog. And that's crazy, bro. Like, when I was growing up, it just seemed like more of my, if you stop choking yourself on the chain, on the collar, you wouldn't be fucking coughing. If somebody looking for a missing cat, man, that cat to the streets. How much the reward is? I'll find that motherfucker. Reward, how much is it? I don't even like cats. I couldn't even see me having a cat, honestly. Egner gonna try to box and get. No, he not. Egner coming out there, man. Egner, see, kid, but I always gotta like really school you on this boxing shit. Egner coming out there to kill that nigga. Egner, you gonna put him in front of the terror squad, and he the king of New York. He ain't coming to box. Egner Berlanga coming to kill. So that's crazy. You think that nigga about to come out there and box? That's crazy. You think he about to come out there and box? No way, no how. He going out there for the kill. King Herbo salute. Disciple salute. I don't even know what that means, but see you later. Come on, Enrique. Shantae salute. Tax Sugar Ray Leonard would be Floyd, especially at 47.50. Catch weight or catch weight, he will. Come on, man. Why you gotta be so difficult? I'm telling you. Most people walk their dog for like 10 minutes max. I've been walking the neighbor dog for them when they be going out of town. That nigga be so happy to walk for like 20 minutes, dog. And I walk this idiot for like 40 in the afternoon, 30 in the morning. I'm like, that's more than any. And then you get let out too every now and again. You know? Man, I just watched Black Little Mermaid and one twerk scene. What that mean? Kevin Hart fruitcake. I don't know his sexuality. Most people in Hollywood we find out is rainbow fatigue is real. I mean, yeah, for sure. I heard they talking about black fatigue, about the Carnival cruise. I was going on a Carnival cruise. And they said they want everybody started boycotting. Like, we don't want to go no more. Like, all right, cool. Cruise sound fun. I just wanted to hit it from the back over the balcony. And be like, I was gonna pay extra for a nice little cabin. Can't go, ain't got nothing on me. But no, man, I'm probably gonna be a Canelo Crawford. What the tickets looking like? But then I might be making another move. But yeah, I'll probably be a Canelo Crawford. I mean, shit, I ain't going on that cruise. It makes sense, man. Vegas sound lit. Why should Mike Coppinger expect Shakur to be next to him after him disrespecting Shakur? What'd he say? What'd he say to disrespectful? Everybody disrespects Shakur. What's new? And this is why Shakur Stevenson, as soon as he lose that belt, that nigga gonna be working that Buc-ee's, filling the windshield washer fluid out. Cause niggas don't know how to take constructive criticism. That's why a lot of these dudes that do interviews, they don't ask the tough questions. Or you see guys kissing certain, media fighters' ass to get in good for credentials because they don't want no objectivity. These fighters, they can't take the truth, bro. I know for a fact there's been fighters and trainers that go to the people that control the credentials and tell them to ban certain people from being in. And my thing is this: why can't we tell the truth? Why can't we crack a joke or two without y'all getting y'all panties in a bunch? You know what I'm saying? That's why you see what happened with Roy. Roy, he gave an honest answer on Sugar Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather. What Floyd Mayweather do? Put a clip of him getting knocked out. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That just lets you know what type of frequency these niggas they vibing that, bro. They can't take a joke. They can't take constructive criticism. You can't tell the truth. Everybody got to get the same generic answer. Oh, it's a 50-50 fight. Oh, I like both guys. You don't get the truth. Ain't that fucked up? You can't even get the truth. You can't even get the truth. Sheeraz got saw Berlanga stock drops if he loses. Yeah, can't drop any lower. Boots about to fight Virgil B. Boots ain't fighting Virgil, I heard, for a while, bro. The daddy just gave him on Twitter. They saying that Boots saying he need 2 tune-ups. So, I don't know. So, I keep hearing people say that, but, I don't know. Watch Berlanga gonna get frustrated and stand with Sheeraz. Man, he's gonna win off aggression probably. He's gonna win off aggression. If especially if Sheeraz don't be aggressive. Remember when someone I said Shakur was the main event, then you looked it up on Ticketmaster and they had him at name headline? That's weird. Yeah, I don't know if he the main event or what. I don't know. Virgil still ain't fought for a belt. Nope. Now, that was a point I was making the other day. Even with Boots. Boots ain't really never beat a champion either. A real champion? That was another point I was making yesterday. Was that, like, when Thomas Hearns got his title, the guy he fought had like 10 title defenses. We talked about Wilfredo Benitez last night, which people always forget. You know what I'm saying? Youngest, this record will never be broken unless they change the rules. He was 17 years old when he won his first title. His high school classmates was in attendance. And he won the world title. He beat the lineal junior welterweight champion of the world. And this guy had 10 straight defenses. So a lot of these dudes saying they world champions, them niggas is title holders. They not beating champions. Marvin Hagler had to go over to the UK to get robbed. In his 43rd or 42nd fight, came back a couple fights later, finally became a champion. Michael Nunn, I think 30-something fights before he became a world champion. So that's when I be having these conversations about era. You know what I'm saying? We ain't the same. That era, this era, like they was taking their belts from real champions. These niggas had 10, 12. And then to be fair, they was fighting a lot more often back then too. But to defend your crown 10, 12 times, that's why I put so much stock into Deontay Wilder. People get mad. Wilder is top 8, top 10 in heavyweight title defenses. Well, he didn't fight nobody. Okay, if he didn't fight nobody, why can't we get another American to do half of what Deontay Wilder did? Jarrell, Big Baby Miller couldn't do it. Jarrell Anderson couldn't do it. Seth Mitchell couldn't do it. If it's so easy, in my opinion, if it's so easy, why can't we find somebody else to do it? And nobody ever answers the question. And that's just what it is. They'll downplay a guy like Deontay, but then they'll praise a bum-ass nigga like Gennady Golovkin. Everybody getting hit. Hit? What you mean? Yeah, I'm hiding most of these niggas. They trolls. They troll channels. They troll. You read the comments? I ain't hiding nobody that ain't deserve to get hit. Niggas with wrenches supposed to be hiding these guys. I'm walking the dog and hiding and commentating. Nigga, I'm talented. But the Shakur and Zepeda just don't. He can win the fight because everybody wants him to win. Because Shakur is boring and people just don't like Shakur. That personality, everybody rooting for him to lose. No, nobody like his personality. It don't match his fight style. That's the biggest thing. He can call whoever a pussy. Mike Tyson talk some shit. The way he talk, it don't match the way he fight. And that's the issue. That's the biggest issue with him. So, but for me, Zepeda don't really have a balance to beat Shakur Stevenson. He don't jab enough. A lot of his weight be on the front foot too much. So when your weight is always over your front foot, it's hard for you to cut. That's why he has problems cutting the ring off. You know what I'm saying? So if he is able to be more, his center of gravity is able to have more balance, you know what I'm saying? I think he'd have a better chance. But how wide his stance is and all his weight being over his front foot, you know, Shakur is going to be able to counter maneuver the way he wants to maneuver. So that's you know, like I said, that's a big problem for me. A lot of these guys come with these wide stances, you know, and it's easy to maneuver those wide stances. But if he gonna win, maybe that stance come in a little bit. He utilized the jab. He just looked to hit Shakur anywhere. But one thing about Mexicans, they don't enjoy using the jab. Come on. They don't enjoy using the jab. You know, and he need the jab, you know, up and down on the shoulders, hit the ankles. I'm gonna hit the elbows, hit the wrists. He need to be hitting them everywhere. So I just think the balance is off. And I noticed the same thing with Errol Spence. You know, I was called a hater when I pointed it out I did the film study on Instagram Live. He don't know how to fight on. He didn't know how to fight on the inside. But what I noticed is all his weight was over his front foot. All his weight was over his front foot. So when all your weight be over your front foot like that, like you offensively, you know, you looking to be offensive, but it's hard to be defensive. And you seen Spence pull out and get clipped because it's hard to shift your weight from front to back like that. So you're just 100% thinking, I'm just here to punch. And that's why he got dropped when he pulled back. That's why he kept getting clipped. So when Zepeda just put too much weight on his front foot. Your shin over his front knee all the time, all his weight on that front foot. You know, that's why Tevin Farmer was able to maneuver around him the way he did. So imagine if he can pin, you know, Tevin in the ropes the times he pinned him. Imagine if he had a better center of gravity, a better balance. Imagine if he used the jab and he used straight punches. You know, he picked the shots a little bit better. You know? And what you're going to see in this fight is Shakur is going to parry and shoot. You will see it. He's going to parry and shoot. They're going to punch with Zepeda. You know, you may even see him take an angle and punch while Zepeda is off balance. He's just going to take advantage. He has too many deficiencies, bro. He has too many deficiencies. So, it's just too many deficiencies. So, with his weight distribution, you know, he don't use the straight punches the way he should use the straight punches. He don't use the jab enough. You know, he don't get his head off that line enough. This whole camp, it should be about balance and jabbing and hitting Shakur on the elbows, the wrists, the biceps, wherever he can hit him at. So I just when I look at him, his feet is a mess. His weight distribution is a mess. Um, and what he makes up for, what he tries to do is make up for his deficiencies with value. He tried to just throw a whole bunch of punches, you know. And you just seen how Schofield had an easy time with Tevin Farmer. So imagine he's stepping up another level. I think Shakur is a better puncher than Tevin Farmer. I think he's a better defensive fighter than Tevin Farmer. He might be faster than Tevin Farmer, better body puncher than Tevin Farmer. So could be stronger than Tevin Farmer. So, like I said before, it should, you know, but who knows? Shakur can hurt his hand. He can have an off night. You know, it could be a fight where his back is on the ropes all night and they take it from him, no matter if he landed the clean punches. And that's how they score in these fights. They scoring it based off of ineffective aggression. Tom and Jerry fights, he disrespected Turkey. He disrespected the media member. Nobody liked him. So it's a lot of pressure on him. You know, now they try to put this pressure on him to get him to fight a certain type of way. You know, but I think he's disciplined enough to keep doing what he's doing. But yeah, he on robbery alert. But I just see Zepeda just, them being, they not even on the same planet talent-wise. They just not. They not. Because Shakur's hands are home. He throw punches the correct way. He on balance. You know, he's always going to be back defensive responsible. The only question you got to ask is if his hand's going to hold up, and is he ready to punch with Zepeda? And if he punch with Zepeda and he start clipping him, what you going to find out is that output going to drop. Zepeda going to be biting off the feints. Zepeda hands, he going to be stuck in mud, and Shakur is just going to disarm him. So, and then the narrative going to be at the, oh, he's a boring fighter. He ran all night, and, you know, nobody, and in reality, he probably sat in the pocket and just picked them apart like a surgeon. But the fight I'm looking forward to is Matias and Puello. I don't really care about the rest of them. I'm going to watch the card. But I want to see Puello and Matias. I kind of want to see Sheeraz and Berlanga. So I kind of would like to see all of them, but the tickets ain't moving either. And that's why I say a lot of these fighters, people in general today, they don't have personalities. They don't have any personality. And then the only time you see these niggas is when it's time to fight. That's the only time you see these fighters, when it's time to fight. When it ain't time to fight, they out of sight, out of mind. Nobody believe in keeping their brand going. Yeah, nobody believe in keeping their brand going. So that's another thing about it. Nobody believe in like keeping their brand going in between fights. You know, they got all these managers, and they know none of these fighters growing in popularity. They don't have a game plan. You know how much money these fighters leaving on the table with brand deals and, you know, opportunities and shit like that. Hold on. Matias and Benavidez are the best flat-footed fighters in the game. At one point, that's all that was. The majority was in boxing was flat-footed fighters. That was it. I'm talking about the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. Joe Louis, Jack Johnson, you know, Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Robinson was one of the first, athletic fighters. You know, that's why Muhammad Ali patterned his game after Sugar Ray Robinson. You know, on his toes, shooting and moving. That was a lot of the, and that was pretty much unheard of. You know, pretty sure some fighters before him or right around him that also get credited for that. Shakur, Berlanga, Matias. Yep, that's what I got. Shakur, Berlanga. I'm gonna say Berlanga by unanimous decision. And I'm gonna say Matias by split decision. And Shakur probably unanimous decision. So that's how I see it. You don't see fighters throw a 2-1 combination like Bud did versus Spence. Nah. You don't see him throw a 1-3 neither. like Schofield threw that drop Tevin Farmer. It looked like a 1-2, but he looped that right hand. You don't see that neither. Y'all can hate on Schofield, but that boy Schofield can go. Schofield can go. That motherfucker was fainting him with his hands, fainting him with his feet. Schofield gonna be a tough out for anybody. He got a lot of natural athleticism, and he seemed to be a big kid too. And the way they worked on that 1-3, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That 1-3 was fire. But let me get out of here. Get in the shower. Oh, Morrell fighting? Shit, I didn't even know that nigga was fighting. Who he fighting? Uz Johnson, Uzbekistan, or another motherfucker with a hairy back? I really don't care for David Morrell. I don't give a fuck what he do. Honestly, like, I don't really care. Nigga's disappointment. You see, that 1-3 combination was filthy. He hit Tevin right on the money, right on the temple. He was right on the temple. Philly felt that in their asshole. I heard Philly ain't got no. I heard everybody on strike in Philly. See y'all niggas shooting on the porch. You know, the dispatchers didn't quit. Trash everywhere in Philly. They ain't picking up the trash. What's up with y'all Keisha Mayer out there? What's up with Keisha Shelby? What's her name? The mayor out there in Philly? Damn, I heard Philly down bad right now. Y'all need to pay y'all motherfucking workers. Y'all need to pay the workers out there in Philly. What's going on in Philly, bro? Pay. See? You know, y'all vote for these women, these Keishas to be in power, these women to run these cities, and look at them. No trash pickups. No cops coming because the dispatchers don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? They trying to force Congress or whoever trying to force the people to go work. Like, man, bitch, you can't force me to work. Pay me what I deserve. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to give, I think what they trying to give them a 5% raise. Man, what's 5%? Inflation jumping 20, 30, 10, 15%. They want to give you 5%. And wonder why the mailman, you know, running drugs on the low for the cartel and shit. Nigga, it's hard to survive out here. They don't never want to pay nobody, bro. That's what they be killing me, dog. Talking about $1 raise. Like, bitch, what? 5%. Bitch, you got my face. They be killing me. They be sitting here laying people off and then giving themselves a raise. One day somebody gonna start sending these CEOs to the upper room, bro. I'm telling you, man, at some point, they gonna start sending these jokers to the upper room. Especially they taking these SNAP benefits and food stamps and shit, man. These niggas gonna start going to the upper room, bro. But yeah, that's all I had to say. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. They're not even making 50K. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. That's sad. Not even to make 50K. Sanitation workers should be making 75K minimum. And that's why a lot of them telling the youth to go pick up a trade. If you ain't handy with your hands, go learn how to code. You know, if you don't like the code, go learn to bake. You know, because them all type of shit you can make money, tax-free money. You ain't good at baking, go learn to cut some hair, do some hair. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's how you do it. You know, y'all they shit on skilled trades, but skilled trades got money. You can do HVAC on the side. You can do electrician on the side. You can code apps and web design on the side. He said they union. Yeah, the union is a scam, bro. Union ain't as strong as it used to be. He said New York sanitation get paid. Yeah, they do. Niggas throw they trash right on the fucking curve. And how big New York City is? New York, yeah. They got to pay them because if the sanitation workers don't work for one day in New York, it's a wrap. Outside of a holiday, they don't work on regular, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And then, you hear people on social media shitting on the blue collar workers already. Your welders, your mechanics, your HVACs, your plumbers, and all that type of shit. Yeah, he might say I make 100K on paper, but this side work I'm doing, shit, niggas be running up a bag. Don't let you be a brick mason or know how to fix a roof or know how to do siding and shit like that. Like, dog, you can, even power washing, you can make some good money on the side. Power washing decks, power washing clubs. You know what I'm saying? Some good money in that. Because what skilled trades allow you to do, you can work a 9 to 5, or you can work for you can work independently. And how a lot of them start their businesses, or they basically get their clientele and do it on the side is they come and they hire them to fix your, whatever. They might come fix your water heater or whatever, or fix something. And then you be like, look here, hey man, if you want to do something on the side, I can do this for you on the side. Just hit me up. And that's how they build their clientele. New York sanitation workers get paid, he said, like well over 100K for the old sanitation workers with seniority. I mean, yeah, like you see that. I seen that. Y'all seen that New York sanitation worker that went viral? He was throwing the trash in the bag. He was throwing the trash in the truck. He was making it was amazing. I bet they do, but like I said before, like I'm not about to be a cop and make 50K, 60K. That don't make no sense. I guess you could throw them in the blue collar workers too, kinda. I'm not about to do that. You crazy. You crazy as hell. Then they be wondering why the cops be, taking the money and making deals with the drug. Gotta pay niggas, man. They do not want to pay people. Then they don't want to pay people when they expect everybody to do an honest job and not find a way to make extra money. $100K don't go far in New York. That's true. That is true. It is true. Yeah, inflation is a motherfucker. 100K ain't shit. Some places you go to Alabama, 100K, that's like a fucking $500,000. Real talk. Arkansas, shit, Mississippi, you a millionaire with 100K. Well, shit, with 50K, you a millionaire in Mississippi. Real talk. Ohio, you the man. There's some places you really can live really nice with 100K. Used to be Texas for a long time. Cheap houses, ran that shit up. Used to be Arizona it was hard to get motherfuckers to go out to Texas and Arizona. You know? But also it depends on your, people like, oh man, this ain't nothing, or you can't. It depends on your lifestyle. A lot of people have a lifestyle that's unsustainable and irresponsible. So you got to remember that it all depends on your lifestyle. But let me get out of here. I appreciate y'all. Peace.